Good afternoon, Ospreys. You're watching Nest News live from the Student Union. I'm Josh Walker.
And I'm Austin Thielen. Coming up in today's show, UPD officers receiving ICE certification.
Limayem announced as sole finalist for USF president.
Government shutdown.
Students' thoughts on open carry.
An interview with the creators of the Spinnaker Magazine.
And a weather and sports update.
So stay tuned and enjoy the show. As confirmed by a university spokesperson, 2 UNF police officers completed their training and received their credentials from Immigrations and Customs Enforcement. Currently, the university is not aware of any ICE investigations on campus, and the 2 officers with credentials have not participated in any ICE-related work. In the event that ICE or any federal agencies are on campus, students and faculty should immediately refer them to the UPD at Building 41. After giving the referral, you should also call UPD to report the presence of the ICE officer and follow any instructions given by UPD, according to the FAQ page. There is currently no information on what to do in the event that UPD is operating in an ICE capacity. In an interview with our editor-in-chief last week, President Limayem had the following to say about the officer training a day before they were certified.
Now, one of the things I really want people to understand, I hope you, Madeline, and your colleagues and fellow students appreciate the role that our police departments plays here. They are wired differently. When we hire them, we make sure they understand they are here to protect, assure the safety of our faculty, staff, and students, not to arrest and penalize and punish. This is so obvious. That is so important for people to understand. I mean, the arrest that they've made is only in very extreme cases. If you have to deal with immigration issues and any type of situation that requires the interventions of law enforcement, would you rather have to do with one of our own officers who are trained, wired differently, or someone else who does not know us, who's here to just reinforce the law, with all my due respect to them, but they're not the same. Now, one of the things I really...
University-wide email that President Moaz Limayem is the sole finalist for the position of president of the University of South Florida. In the email, he said, "The selection process is currently underway and may take several months. While the presidential selection news is significant, I continue to cherish every moment at UNF, working alongside our exceptional faculty and staff and witnessing our students' growth is incredibly fulfilling." According to a university spokesperson, there is no information available yet about possible UNF presidential candidates or the possibility of an interim leader. The presidential decision process for USF would still have to go before the Florida Board of Governors before anything is finalized.
Well, this morning I saw that there's a 3rd hurricane possibly forming.
3rd? I thought there was 5 forming, no?
5? Wow, that's a lot. Oh, I know there's one off our coast.
I mean, it is hurricane season too. You know, there's like hurricanes every day of the week.
This is true. I wonder how long the one off the coast is going to be.
Who knows?
I don't know. I do know who knows, and that is Annette. So let's go to Annette with a weekly weather update.
Good afternoon, Ospreys, and welcome to your weekly weather report. Today, it is 81 degrees with a 50% chance of rain and thunderstorms. It's also looking to rain a little bit later tonight. Now, this weekend, the rain will continue with a 60% chance on Saturday and a 70% chance on Sunday. So it's going to be a rainy weekend ahead. Monday will also have a chance of rain and thunderstorms, but on Tuesday and Wednesday, the day should clear up a little bit, and by Thursday, it should be a clear day. It's also going to be a little bit windy this week. Now, temperatures will be in the high of 80s and the low of 70s. On Thursday, temperatures will dip into 69 degrees, and something to keep in mind, east winds from 11 to 19 miles per hour can create wind gusts up to 29 miles per hour. So while you're out there in the rain, I would bring a poncho opposed to an umbrella. Have a good rest of your day, Ospreys, and I'll see you next week.
On Wednesday, the U.S. government was thrown into a shutdown with no easy endgame in sight, according to the Associated Press. Democrats and Republicans in Congress failed to resolve budget disputes to fund the government before the fiscal year ended on September 30th, causing a shutdown. Democrats are demanding that a government spending package extend health care subsidies that are set to expire at the end of the year. Trump and Republicans in Congress insist on a clean spending package that excludes the health care measure. Trump has called the shutdown an unprecedented opportunity to make vast cuts to federal agencies. Rather than the usual practice of furloughing federal workers, the Trump administration is exploring layoffs. For college students, not much should change. Student aid will mostly be unaffected in the short term, according to the Department of Education's contingency plan. Pell Grants and federal loans will continue to be dispersed, and student loan borrowers must continue to make debt payments. During the shutdown, the department will continue to process the free application for federal student aid, or FAFSA, which is currently open to apply for the 2026 to 2027 aid year. On September 25th, legal gun owners in Florida can now open carry their firearms. We are going to Matthew Fiedler to hear what students have to say.
September 10th, a Florida appeals court struck down a ban on open carries, citing the Second Amendment as the violation that it made. This means that Floridians can now openly show their firearms in public. There are some stipulations, however. One is that on school campuses, like here at UNF, you are not allowed to open carry. I went to speak to students at UNF to get to know how they feel about open carry and what they think about the new law.
Overall, open carry, I'm mostly neutral to kind of oppose it in a little bit. I really don't think it's going to solve that much crime.
Obviously, we have the Second Amendment. It's a constitutional right, but at the same time, I think people are. It's fair for people to be a bit scared in today's world when it comes to guns and laws about guns, because everyone's skeptical.
I have small kids, so I don't want them. They're little, so they grab. I wouldn't want them to hands to go where they shouldn't go, grab for things.
Yeah, I'll say I probably feel safe around them, but it's also a way to show fear as well, like, hey, I have a gun, don't mess with me, or stuff like that. And if open carry is permitted on campus, which I'm pretty sure it's not, but I think that'll cause a lot of problems still, even outside the campus. Like, let's say I go to town center, for example. I might not feel safe maybe, because I don't know if they're trying to rob the store because they have a gun, or they're going to try to protect it if something does go wrong.
As the law stands now, open carry does not mean that you can carry a firearm at UNF still. I'm Matthew Fiedler for Nest News.
Now, as a reminder, the University of North Florida's policy on weapons remains unchanged. Firearm use is prohibited on university property for both students and non-students.
With the release of Spinnaker's Fall magazine, we have the creator Spinnaker, editor-in-chief Madeline Schneider, and creative services director Michaela Haynes to speak about the project's creative process. Take a look.
The theme and the cover of this magazine was definitely something we brainstormed a lot about. It kind of started from this idea of I wanted to kind of juxtapose some of the more serious, hard news issues that have been facing UNF lately with kind of a cute, approachable exterior. And we were also thinking a lot about themes, a lot about how we could symbolize the some of the issues that we're facing faculty, students, staff at UNF.
We came up with the idea of someone's voice being erased and how that was kind of going to be a general idea or one of the ideas that were going to contribute to our magazine. The overarching idea was anxiety, and a lot of our stories relate to that feeling. But we specifically zeroed in on the idea of erasers and then created kind of a symbolic look with them with the classroom setup and the professor eraser like on the cover. So
I think that I really hope people think of Spinnaker as UNF's only student outlet for free speech on campus in terms of media and press and news. We are the only outlet that students have for recording what's happening at this moment in time for the university's history. So I think
we really want to make sure, we know that news can be stressful, as seen in this article, and how kind of just all the things going on in the world can be really concerning and weigh heavy on students. We really just want to be known as being honest and talking about what students care about. And
be on the lookout for the full interview on our YouTube next week.
And now let's go to Ryan for your weekly sports update.
Hello everyone, I hope you all thrived during midterm week just like your UNF athletic teams have in their recent games. And with that, let's get right into this week's UNF Sports Update. Starting things on the pitch, the UNF women's soccer team suffered an emotional River City Rumble loss last Saturday after JU stunned them with 2 late goals to pull out a 2-1 victory. The Ospreys stayed strong, however, and bounced back in a big way last night as they took down Stetson 1-0 on the back of a Chandler Browning brace. The freshman forward's first collegiate goal of her career pushes the Ospreys to 3-1 in ASUN play this season, ahead of a date with FGCU on Sunday. Kicking things over to the men's side, the Ospreys men's soccer team took down JU last Saturday night on the road in their edition of the River City Rumble 1-0. Senior Jackson Reinhardt's 4th goal of the season in the 37th minute proved to be the difference, and it ensured that the defending ASUN champions picked up where they left off last year, opening up conference play 1-0. They will look to build off the momentum of their current 6-game win streak against FGCU Saturday night here at Hodges Stadium. Running over to the course, the men's and women's cross-country teams showed out in a major way this past weekend at the FSU Cross Country Open in Tallahassee. The men's team placed 2nd in the 34-team field with a team score of 81 points, while Aiden Arnold led the way, finishing 9th overall as an individual. On the women's side, the Ospreys were also strong, snagging 4th out of 36 participating squads with a score of 155 points. Junior Annika Busser led the way in 20th place as an individual for the Ospreys. Both teams will be off for the next 2 weeks before traveling to Alabama. Swinging things over to the hard court, the women's tennis team had their season debut for the 2025-2026 year last weekend at the College of Charleston Invitational. The Ospreys came out on top in dominant fashion, going 10-2 overall through the weekend, including having a 9-1 record through the opening day of the tournament. Ansley Long and Isabel Oliveira had particularly strong starts to their season, boasting a 4-0 record across singles and doubles. Lastly, jumping into the pool, the women's swim and dive team also faced their first test of the season as they traveled to Winter Park to take on Rollins College last Friday. The Ospreys came through with a convincing win, taking down the Tars by the score of 207-55. Kayla Daly and Victoria Torres had extremely good days, winning 4 events each. The Ospreys will be traveling to Nashville this weekend to compete against Vanderbilt as they look to start 2-0. That's all I have for you today. See you next time.
And that's just about all we have for you today, Ospreys.
And remember, consider donating to support Spinnaker through the link in the description below.
And for all things Spinnaker, or to read our new Spinnaker's Fall Magazine, check out our website, unfspinnaker.com, and you can also find physical copies of the Fall Magazine in all the blue boxes around campus.
Also, make sure to follow us on Instagram at UNFSpinnaker and check out the rest of our YouTube for more content.
And as always, thank you so much for watching. I'm Austin Thielen.
And I'm Josh Walker.
And we will see you next week on Spinnaker's Nest News.